What's up, YouTube? So, Torture have just released their second album, War Crimes 2, Genocide Protocol. Obviously, I'm going to be reviewing this because Torture is a band that I have a love-hate relationship with it. There's some parts that I like from Enduring Freedom, but if you saw my video, Why Metalheads Hate Torture Enduring Freedom, I talked a lot about some things that just kind of turn a lot of people off besides me that I've collectively seen throughout the years kind of towards that, the short-lived years. But I thought I'd start off with my likes and then my dislikes. There are three parts to this album. There's like the normal slam stuff, then there's like a gore noise section, then there's like an ambient section. So I'll be reviewing each act. So what I liked about the main act, which is, of course, just like the normal slam one. Strong bass parts and bass drops reminiscent of dripping. There was like a strong dripping feel with the bass drops. This is definitely a more technical release, more technical riffings on songs like Neutralized. I appreciated incredible opening riffs on Apartheid Conservation Regime. Easily the best track on the album was that. Wish the rest of the album sounded a lot more like this one track. There's like great lividity licks and internal bleeding sections, internal bleeding rhythms. The seventh track, Necropolitical, had a cool little like repudiation slam with like the backwards effects, with like the sound, which I noticed. It feels like before on like in Enduring Freedom, he had like entry level knowledge of like BDM and like old school BDM, like more like mid 2000s with like Waking the Cadaver and Cephalotripsy. This one, it seems like uh, he like did his homework or like someone showed him like the good stuff because there's like a bunch of true like essence of old school 90s brutal death metal in the riffage, in the song structure, stuff like Disgorge, Mortal Decay, Regurgitation. There's a lot more of that as opposed to that mid to late 2000s slam sound. It kind of feels like he like saw that video that I did where I kind of just talked about like Enduring Freedom being like a one trick pony, and he kind of just like did everything opposite of what I said. You will notice, quite frankly, all of the cricket stuff, like the cricket slam, frog slam, is gone, completely gone. This has more of a dying fetus approach, like the first dying fetus, like really old dying fetus, and his vocals kind of took a turn. Instead of the frog crickety vocals, he went for something that sounds a lot similar to like Viral Load. I've noticed, in my knowledge, that's what it sounded like. What I quickly thought of when I heard his new vocals approach, I was like, this sounds a lot like Viral Load. So it may seem like a cop out to some people that did like the type of sound. That's gone. So yeah, but my dislikes, I thought that the lyrics of this were very immature. I felt like Torture did a better job of getting their message across, before, when they had zero lyrics. It just felt more like the name Torture, like it was just this sonic crushing type of band that really solidified like why they were able to get so popular so quick. Of they were like that mysterious thing. Now that they have lyrics, it just kind of feels again like a little bit selling out, kind of. Especially because I started reading the lyrics because they were on the Bandcamp, and I quickly noticed that I felt like I was like 12 years old listening to like a Slipknot song in like a new metal stage or something. Like I felt like a new metal kid listening to this. Like there's so much just teen angst. Every single, pretty much every single song has lyrics that are like F this, F that, every effing day, mother effing the effing effers. And I'm censoring it because of YouTube. YouTube has been really cracking down, so if it sounds silly for me to say that, that's why I do have to censor everything now, especially with like gore art. Yeah, it's like, and then like Agonized Desperation 2 felt like very that dying fetus and Viral Load. Again, like I really felt it in that one. Every single, it's like they were like the one trick pony with like the slam sound of Enduring Freedom. Now it's kind of like a one trick pony with the lyrics. Every single lyric and every single song is just the same thing. It's just, the Palestine depressional thing of torment. Every single song's the exact same lyrically. It gets the message across. There were some metalcore parts on like Neutralized. It's kind of like they were trying to move away from the hardcore scene by being that more traditional brutal death metal sound, but it still is catering to all the hardcore metalcore kids, the beanie kids that don't even know what Viral Load or Mortal Decay is. It's just like that metalcore sound is just still there, even though brutal death metal has definitely been upgraded in the sound for this one. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's still just like entry level hardcore kids are going to be eating this up and be like, wow, this sounds so amazing. I never heard this before, without realizing that this is just like Viral Load, Lividity, regurgitation, Discord riffs from 30 some years ago. Yeah, I admire his frustrations and anger. Like, this is a very angry record. Unfortunately, it just, like I said, just screams that teenage angst. It gives me a lot of like "F you, mom" energy in the way that the lyrics are, which I noticed quite a way. But if I was to rank this, I would rank this. I would say it. If I was to say on a spectrum of like good, great, amazing, perfect, and then like below average, bad, like I would say it's somewhere like above good. Like I said, the actual true BDM riffage and old school brutal death metal influence is definitely there. There was a lot of callbacks to, like I said, like Repudiation. Like Repudiation is one of my all-time favorite bands. Like there's some Mortal Decay riffs, there's some regurgitation riffs, there's a lot of Viral Load, internal bleeding structures. But going off of what was previously found that I liked, I wish I would have seen the continuation of the type of progginess to that original sound with the technical abilities of this. So for that, I'm going to be giving this a 6 out of 10. Do I think this is a bad record? Absolutely not. I think there's a lot of enjoyable stuff. I think it's going to turn a lot of their die-hard old like Beanie Kid hardcore fans off, only because it's not the most slam brain dead thing anymore. This is going into Cali Kid territory with the Discord stuff, more significant old school brutal death metal parts and sections, which obviously that will be more favorable to that type of crowd before the enduring, or besides the enduring freedom part of that wave. So there is that, but give it a 6 out of 10 because I think that is a huge improvement over Enduring Freedom. Like huge, like this was definitely the right direction. I just wish I would have seen a lot more of that before with the continuation of that Enduring Freedom parts that I did enjoy, which again is the now we're getting to the part 2 noise thing. I mean, they were a gore noise band before. I mean, obviously no one cared as much before they went like that slam cephalotripsy sound for Enduring Freedom. The only thing I really noted was Illegal Sediments sound like an episode of Edda and Eddie. Like, it just sounded like some like mumble jibber jabber. And then for part 3, the ambience part, I saw a lot of people say that it sounds like ringtones, like, oh, he's fighting Palestine with he's fighting the Free Palestine wave with ringtones, like, oh. I actually sat down and listened to it. I thought that the ambience of this part very much sounded like some like old Dragon Ball Z scenes when they're like looking at nature or like something. Like it was kind of like cool, like scenery from like Dragon Ball Z, or like it kind of sounded like the Resident Evil 1 basement music type of thing. Like it was just some random parts of different things. Like it was just whatever. I actually kind of enjoyed it. I'd give that like a 7. The gore noise, I'd give that like a 3. I don't really care about the gore noise. Like I love grindcore, I love gore grind, but it's just like you listen to it once and it's like I don't really care. There's nothing to really. There's no substance, like I said. It's just noise. But that's my opinion. Maybe y'all get some hate by people saying 6 out of 10 is too high. That's not my agenda. I'm not here to just crap on a band because of their band name title. Like, yeah, I've harked on Enduring Freedom before for a while, but if they make something that I think is actually an improvement, I'm going to actually be like, hey, job well done. He made a very angry record that has a lot more old school brutal death metal tendencies, that favors to like our crowd, like my scene, which I think is admirable. But that's my opinion. Please do subscribe. Check out why metalheads hate Enduring Freedom. One of my biggest videos. I don't even know why. But till next time, peace out.